Welcome to Men, Sex, and Tantra.
Discover what your parents, porn, and religion never taught you about being a man and having extraordinary sex. Get ready to have your mind blown and your world rocked. All right, everybody, back. And I still have the intellectual sniper with us. We're having a great time diving into these different things. And as always, none of my calls we don't script these things beforehand. Literally, we just say, hey, what topic do you want to talk about? And then we just dive into it and find out what happens. So far, we seem to be on track with everything. So we're not getting into I keep trying to find men who disagree with me on something so we can get down and dirty with it. But, apparently I pick reasonable, smart men, so this doesn't happen. Anyway, today we're talking about what you said is one of the things that gets talked about or asked about a lot, and that's confidence.
Absolutely. Confidence is a probably number one topic men want to talk about. Men do not want to talk about confidence with women. So, right? So they want to talk about confidence with guys they trust, men that they feel that have it, but that they feel like they are sharing that same story, same testimony on how to move forward with it. So a lot of men lack confidence based on, honestly, their upbringing. And what happens is their upbringing gives them a lot of limiting beliefs. Their upbringing gives them a warped view of the world. So they carry this. A lot of people don't recognize that they carry things from their childhood into their adulthood. A lot of people look at it as, well, I'm an adult now, brand new slate. No, it doesn't work like that. The same mind you had at 8 years old, you still have at 38. You just are not recognizing that because obviously you have learned new things. You've experienced new things, but you're still carrying things from 8 to 38. The problem is, can you slice it off? Can you stop carrying up the bad beliefs that maybe you were taught or brought up with into your, mature adulthood?
And when let's break the confidence is also a broad topic. So are you talking about confidence as a man? Confidence sexually, confidence with women? I mean,
to be honest, all three: confidence as a man, confidence sexually, confidence as far as, engaging with women, not being nervous, not feeling intimidated, not feeling that, she's a monster and going to eat you, that she's going to tear you apart and rip you apart because you're not good enough for her presence. So all that embodied in one are main topics that I discuss.
Yeah, because I know men who are confident, like we had talked, like the barking, confident dating or the initial pickup, or men that are confident with asking a woman out or being friends with women, but can't move that to a relationship, right? Confident with sex, but not confident with relationship skills. So you're right. There's a broad thing, but if we learn how to be confident in one area, how do we translate that into the other? So do you think what's the most, is it sexual confidence that men are lacking that you talk about, or is it just really as a man?
I think because you lack confidence as a man, you lack confidence with engaging with women. If you don't know yourself, you don't know who you are, it's very hard to have a successful relationship with women.
And then, so because I'm that person who's always likes to break the words down, because we say words we don't really understand. If you had to say, without using the word confidence, what it is, what are the characteristics of confidence, or what does confidence even really mean in your world?
I think confidence is the knowing. That's one of the main words I'd say. Confidence is in the knowing. It's in the knowing that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. Right?
And that is really different than a lot of people think about it. because people think of confidence as a thing, that's up. And what I see you saying is, no, it's actually is the lowest combinator. Is I'm going to be okay no matter what happens. Most people look at confidence as something that they're reaching for,
Right.
versus something knowing that in the worst case scenario, everything's going to be okay. So that's interesting already. So go ahead. Go.
It's the to be honest, it's like a bottom floor type of thing, right? A lot of people look at life as they're just free falling and they're just going to keep sinking down and nothing's going to be able to hold them up. What holds you up is knowing, like, regardless of any outcome, any result, you're okay. You're still you, right? You're still living. So you walking up to any woman and she rejecting you, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end all and be all. It doesn't, people see what men do is within any situation, but we're mainly talking about social and sexual dynamics. They think that if they go up to a woman and introduce themselves and she rejects them, they act like there's like some type of God grading them and saying, well, you get it for, no, that's not what's going on. That's not what's going on at all. A woman could reject you for all types of reasons. A lot of times a woman rejects you for something that has nothing to do with you, but you don't know that because you're so focused on thinking that you're less than and you're not equipped and are you good enough? No, regardless of any outcome, knowing that you're all right. Everything is still flowing, it's still going. And if anything, you got more experience.
Yeah, I would say that my number one quality people comment on is my definitely fearless confidence. And I realize that my confidence is all about the fact that I'm okay, no matter what. I mean, it really is. Like people like, I fly helicopters, and people are like, whoa, that's kind of a big deal. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be okay even if it crashes. Like I'm going to die. I live or I die. I jump out of airplane, really try to live or die. I'm okay either way. In which case, fearless, hot man, way outside my quote unquote range. I have no problem walking up to him and saying, hey, you are awesome sauce or hot, whatever it is. Let's go out, whatever. He says no. I'm like, cool. Whatever. And I've been that way for a long time in my life. And so one of the things that happens is the more that happens, the reject or the accept, right, is that growing that piece, growing. I know that I'm okay. I've been rejected so much. I don't even think of rejection as rejection. I just think of it as not right, a thing.
It's a thing. It's a part of life. It's not, some external thing that's like horrible to deal with. It's literally part of the living experience. We get rejected all the time. It's just there's certain situations we're harsher on ourselves on regarding, someone telling us no, because we feel, someone telling us no instantly, makes us a bad person. No, it doesn't make you a bad person. Someone tell you no, it doesn't make you anything. And that's what I want men to know is that, like I said, no any particular situation is determining, your validation.
You do. Yeah. The only thing that determines that is you.
It's you. You're I guess, and I tell men this too, you're the judge, you're the jury, you're the executioner, right? So all that harshness, it's you. You're the one harshly putting all that expectation on yourself because of any outcome. So confidence starts with you, it ends with you. And like I said, it's belief as well. It's the belief of inner peace, regardless of any outcome. I regardless of any woman rejecting me, I'm still able to flow through life. I still have myself, right? Because I love myself, right? So that enables me to possibly love this woman I'm introducing myself to. But if she doesn't want that love, it's okay.
Yeah. And so what would you say to because I don't believe it, like failure is just a learning tool. Rejection's a learning tool. They're all learning tools, whether it is, even if it is about me. Like, I'm okay if I get personally rejected. It's like, yeah, I'm not for everybody. That's cool. But what about the person that, because I don't know if I've ever looked at the data behind how many rejections I've had in my life versus how many successes.
Mm.
Right? Like, I don't know that I've actually sat and quantified that data.
Right.
And then, so maybe because I haven't, that makes me feel different. But what about guys who literally, like, it's a no all the time?
Mm. If it's a no all the time, right? That's where some self-reflection is needed. I think some time alone is needed. And then ask yourself, why are they saying no? Because there's a reason why. If you're getting no all the time, there's a reason. It sits up to you to investigate. Instead of judging yourself harshly, figure out what's going on internally.
Well, okay, so let's break this down. Like, if I go out and I get, in a 10-year span, I only get up the courage to ask 2 people and they're both no's. And then I decide the data is everybody says no. Yeah, that's not the same as you asked 100 people out and 100 people said no.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, you see where I'm getting with this, because, I can say that anything that I've ever wanted to try or do, or I just go for it. So there are lots of failures and rejections and different things and things that I do. But because I don't dwell on the data around that, that's why I can't. I'm thinking back now, going, well, have I been more quote unquote successful than I haven't, or not? And so if you're spending a lot of time qualifying that data, it could be good or bad. I mean, at what point? So let's say you've approached 50 women or 100 women and they've all been no. Is that a self-reflection time?
Well, like you said, like, you can't go strictly off that 100 women said no, because at that point you're just looking at the numbers and you're like, okay, I'm qualifying my worth based on the 100 women saying no. But I'm going to look at both sides of that, because you said 10 years, 2 people, and they both said no. And so the person's like, oh, got to give up because 2 people no in 2 years. But I would say that person lacks courage. Right? Versus the person who did ask 100 people, right? They probably lack strategy.
Okay,
right?
I like this.
So they have the courage, but they lack strategy, right? I mean, because I can ask 100 women, out and be confident, but let's say, I haven't taken a shower in 8 months.
They're all married.
Right? So and guess what? I guess a thing I would add to that is there's always going to be a variable that you know or don't know of why someone said yes or no to you.
Yeah.
You might know it, you might not. Regardless, do you ask yourself, do you lack courage or do you lack strategy? Because both matter in the situation to get the outcome you want. I
think I've lacked strategy, because my strategy, because I'm autistic, is kind of just like, yo, hey, whatever, it's awkward, weird, whatever it is. So I would say that I don't lack courage on anything, but I think that I could have used some more strategy.
We all can.
But we're not talking like strategy as in seduction community strategy.
No. I think it's more personal than a seduction strategy. So, seduction strategy is something different. That's something else, but something that you're doing or not doing, right? You might have confidence. Are you maintaining eye contact? Are you even really engaging with them, right? Did you really hear her when she might have mentioned, I'm married, or I have this going on, right?
So you're noticing her showing you the ring in her hand when she's throwing it in front of your face. Yeah,
exactly. So those are the type of things. Are you paying attention to the cues of why she might have said no? You know what I mean? So there's different situations, different, scenarios of why she might have just said no. Either way, don't qualify yourself strictly based on data because 200 women said no to you. right?
Right.
But like I said, are you lacking courage or strategy? So both
That's
are.
going to ding your confidence, right? If you're going out and you're asking women out on dates, or you're meeting women, and or you're getting, you're getting the first kiss and then never a second date, this could start to ding your, even if you have confidence, this could start dinging your confidence. What would you do then, as these things might be piling up?
As the losses are piling up.
Yeah. Like, how do you protect? I always tell people that, especially like being an entrepreneur, you have to protect your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to that? How do you maintain or revisit that?
I think when something, like, let's say, because we can use it, business, women, whatever, when something is going wrong, I think you remind yourself, like, hey, it's okay. Like I said before, it's a revisit of that. It's okay that they said no. They don't have to say yes to me. They're not obligated to say yes to me, right? So stop taking it so personal that any woman or any business person says no to you, right? And know that people have their own shit.
That's true. That's true.
People have their own shit going on. So always keep that in mind.
I had a client once who started working with me because she was like, okay, she'd been in a loveless marriage most of her life, and now she wanted to find love. And she went out there and read all the books. She got a relationship coach. She got all of these things. And when she met me, she said, okay, you're my last ditch effort. I'm throwing down this huge amount of cash. I want true love. And I said to her, just because you do everything right doesn't mean it's going to happen. Now, you can imagine, she looked at me with this incredulous look on her face, like, what the actual fuck? Because we're told that if you do everything right, you're going to get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is you could do everything right and still not get what you want. And that is part of life. Not everybody is going to maybe get their soulmate, or pick up their 10, have sex with their 10, or, get married and live happily ever after. And, so I think for me, where I come back to land on my confidence is I could do everything, quote unquote, right, and still not get an outcome I want. But yeah, it's not because I am worthless as a person.
Correct.
My worth as a person is not dictated, and you said this before, based on the outcome of what the things are I do. But
Absolutely.
that is ingrained in our society so hard.
People think that all the time. And it's the same way the lady came to you and said, okay, last ditch effort. I'm ready to spend it all. And she thought that she could buy results.
Yeah, or there was
right?
something that if she did it just right, because the world told her that how to get your soulmate, how to attract the love you want, how to live the marriage you want, how to find true love, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a solution, a formula that if you follow it just right, you're guaranteed an outcome.
And that is a thing that's in our society too much. So, and that's where the entitlement comes from.
There we go. There's the word.
Right? That's where the entitlement comes from. Because then people are like, wait, how did I not get the result? How did I not get the outcome? Right? How did I not get the person or thing that I really, really wanted? I did step 1 through 12, right? I did everything she told me to do. I read Sniper's book. Now I'm frustrated that I didn't get the exact outcome, because you're dictating yourself based on that outcome. You're completely judging yourself based on, you think your worth is based on you having that thing you want, and that's the problem. That's the situation. So you feel like an anchor in the ocean because, oh, I didn't get the exact thing I wanted, so now my confidence is in the toilet. Instead of, hey, even though I didn't get what I wanted, I'm still worth it. You know, I don't have to let this thing that happened dictate my entire life. And we live in our past experiences, whether we want to admit it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I was 40, I think it was 47, and I had 47 with a 5-year-old, and I was told that I had I had more chance of getting hit by lightning than finding a man to date me. Nice statistics, right? You can read them, you can look them up. Yeah, over 45. And I remember thinking that was kind of like, oh, well, first of all, that to me is a challenge. See, then now I'm going to take that on as a challenge, but which is another part of why I'm confident about things, because if I see something as a losing type of situation, I want to challenge myself to go check it out. But I think the idea that if you as a man are looking for a relationship or to get laid, and you keep getting the no, it doesn't pan out. I think there's that confidence piece. Just because you're confident doesn't mean you're going to get it either. Everybody says, oh, if you're confident, women are going to be attracted to you. I don't know, maybe not. Right. Like you said earlier, maybe you haven't had a shower for 8 months. I don't care how confident you are, you may not be getting picked. Just saying, could be a thing. But really where I'm going with that is that if you're doing quote unquote the things that are right, what I would or encourage you to check is you said entitlement earlier, the entitlement factor. I'm doing everything right, and those bitches aren't checking me out, is an energy that you start wearing that is really repelling. So there was this guy once, I call him the troll man, because we were at this big event, and he was part of a different event, but we're at this big event and a tantra thing, and there was all these young, beautiful women wandering around, whatever. He's sitting hunched up in his little armchair, right? Looking all trolly. He was not an attractive man, but worse than like just not being attractive was this kind of energy that enveloped him, right? So anyway, during the event, he would look at the women when they walked by, and they would literally go around, like stop and wander back the other way. Like that's how repelling he was. But I went up to talk to him. I sat down in a chair beside him. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And he kind of looks at me. And I said, no, I'm not one of those scantily clad babes that you're hoping to score with. But I said, I want to find out, what are you trying to do? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, why are you here? And he goes, oh, there's this event for men, whatever. And, I said, what's going on? And he'd been his whole life rejected. He paid for sex. The only way he got sex was to pay for sex. And he's been through all these men's courses on what to wear, on how to this, it did it. He'd been thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And it's not working. And so I looked at him and I said, I'll tell you what, game on. I love a challenge. I said, give me this weekend, right? We're going to meet 4 times. At the end of this weekend, I want you to see what happens and what's different. And since he tried everything else before and tons of money, he's like, sure, let's do it. Basically, what I got to uncover was this entitlement, frustration, anger situation. And when at the end of the weekend, he was relaxed, and it wasn't that he was objectifying and or trying to have an agenda with every woman he saw, like he let go of the agenda. He's sitting on the chair. He looked totally different, first of all, because that energy wasn't there. And 2 days later, he had 5 women sitting around his lounge chair talking to him.
There you go. Right.
So sometimes you're doing everything right and you're confident and you're whatever, but that internal thing, you might not actually even like women. Yeah, you want to fuck them. Yeah, you want to do whatever, but you don't like them.
There it is. Absolutely. And I always ask men when I'm doing consultation is, what jacket are you wearing? Are you wearing a confident jacket? But also, are you wearing a jacket where you're aware of what's going on around you? Do you have self-awareness? Where's your self-awareness jacket? Because if you don't know that you're angry, you're frustrated, right? That you are in a bad mental place. If you don't even know that you don't like women, then what is it all for? Right? You can go to all the courses, you can go to all the confidence speeches and you know, all the type of meetings and seminars. But what if you're like, man, I don't even like women because I'm really still mad about what happened X, Y, and Z when 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Then what is it all for? So I always ask that, what jacket are you wearing?
I like that. I like that metaphor. What jacket are you wearing? But yeah, there are many men. I know that, like I said, it's not that you don't, you want to have sex with women, but you don't respect women. You don't like women. You're angry at women. You think women hold the power and are keeping you from what you want. So fuck those bitches. If you have that in your language set, if you really believe that, then you are absolutely doing yourself and your relationships a lot of damage. It's like women who are like, all men are dogs. All men just want one thing. Like these things that we say, if we believe these things, we are the repelling factor. And so in that case, it is personal, you're getting rejected. So, I always like bring it back, you could be rejected for many, many reasons, but if it's consistent rejection, because even, and I talk plainly, you've seen me say unattractive. I can actually say there are people who are more attractive than others. Yes, there are, to a general sense, although there are always people who are attractive to somebody. Right. And the most unattractive anything anybody can wear, whether a man, woman, doesn't matter, you cross all genders, is that frustration, anger, seething, entitlement, all of that stuff. That stuff, if that's underlying what you do, no amount of confidence, no amount of looking cool, no amount of game, no amount of whatever is going to create a long-term happiness or sometimes even short-term satisfaction from it.
Absolutely. What jacket are you wearing? It's just super important for men to ask themselves that, because you're repelling the women, the women that you say you want, right? Women can feel you hate them.
Yes.
Yes. Like they can feel like, hey, this guy really don't like women. He wants to be around them. He want to have sex with them. He wants to engage, but he doesn't really like women for whatever reason it is. He does not really like them, right? So I remember one guy, he was saying that if you're obviously get rid of your desire for women. And that's part of why you're frustrated, because you hate women, but you still want them.
Yeah. And that comes to that, those bitches hold the power.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're desperate, like if you're not your own best lover, because I think I teach everybody to be their own best lover. If you're not your own best lover, so you're frustrated and desperate, and somebody's holding out on you, you have that energy in your body, and your everything about it is not going to be helpful. So you can, like I said, so confidence is important, but I think the primary thing that everybody should be focusing on is that underlying feeling, energy, that if it's negative is there. Because a man who loves women, loves how women are, it's not just whether they're a size 2 or whatever. I mean, he loves the feminine, right? Loves women, which is what I taught Troll Man, by the way. And so when he all of a sudden took off all the rest of that stuff and just realized, he loved women regardless of their shape, age, size, whatever, it doesn't mean he has to be with them all, but just appreciates and love. That's when all these women started sitting around and hanging out with him. Exactly. And that was a transformation in like that transformation, because he finally got it. And literally within the time he got it, it was 30 minutes before he was not repelling anybody. So that's power.
He became a remote bar king.
He was definitely the bar king there, because like I said, you got like 5 women sitting below his chair, right? He's on the chair and they're sitting on the ground watching him. He was just entertaining and he was comfortable and they were just listening to and these are women who had turned around and walked away from him without even looking at him.
Exactly.
Earlier that weekend. So
that hate.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, what do we want to leave the men with here when it comes to confidence and this whole idea? What should they go do now?
I think you have to assess, who are you? What do you like? What don't you like? Know that. Don't go off what's popular or what's the trends or, what's going on socially. I think that's super important as far as knowing your confidence. Also knowing that you're worthy of your desires, right? So if you want to get laid, then you're worthy of that. If you want a wife, you're worthy of that. If you want a long-term companion, then you have to believe that you are worthy of that, because women can tell and they can feel when you act like you're not worthy of that, right? So worthy of your desires, super important. What jacket are you wearing? Are you wearing your frustration? Are you wearing your anger? Are you wearing your hate, right? For women, remember, they can energetically feel this from you and they can feel your energy. So you might want to engage and have a conversation, but if women can kind of feel that inner, like you're not at peace with yourself, you're still secretly mad at other things that happened in your past life or whatever, you're going to keep getting the results you have. Confident. And the last thing I'll say is confidence is in the knowing. It's in the knowing that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. That is what kind of creates the inner peace within you.
Yeah, I second all that for sure. And can attest to confident men are definitely sexy, but what overshadows confidence is that inner upset. So get aware, know yourself, take the time to dive in deep with that. There lies a lot of stuff, including being an awesome lover, is self-awareness as well. So we are coming back in our next episode with another super popular topic, which is the nice guy. So we'll see you back here on the next episode.